If you want to see some sensible transfers for your team, The Athletic are covering every club listed here. And you can get 40% off an annual subscription to start reading today. In this series, we analyse teams, identify problem areas, and suggest solutions in the form of incoming players. Today's team is Manchester United. Welcome to Sensible Transfers. Manchester United were the Premier League's form team after the restart, with the acquisition of Bruno Fernandes providing impetus, creativity, and apparently rejuvenating Paul Pogba. United have stepped up their transfer game of late with some astute if expensive acquisitions like Fernandes, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire, and while Ed Woodward's reputation hasn't been entirely rehabilitated, the signs are good and United appear to be thinking more long-term. On the pitch, the attacking trident of Mason Greenwood, Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial has been exceptional, and United look equipped to take on anyone going forwards. At the back though, things are less clear. Maguire has been good since joining from Leicester City and retains Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's confidence despite a few high-profile errors. A long-term partner though is a must, someone who can match Maguire's proactivity and passing. A left-sided centre-back would be ideal, and given that Maguire is right-footed, he could then move to his more natural spot. Both fullback positions are solid, and this is unlikely to be a priority, nor is the goalkeeping situation. Dean Henderson is the heir apparent to De Gea, and it should be a matter of when, not if, that succession takes place. Ahead of the back four, Nemanja Matic offers stability and leadership, but he's ageing, and positional acumen can only make up for physical decline for so long. Fred, a buzzing, pressing, recycling kind of midfielder, seems the wrong fit alongside Pogba, so United probably want more presence and aggression in that position. Scott McTominay may be the long-term successor, but while Matic does less overall defensive work by volume, he still makes more per 90 interceptions and ball recoveries than McTominay, and also offers more as a progressive passer from deep. So, with that in mind, here are the three areas where Manchester United could still improve. Our first suggestion isn't actually a pure Matic replacement, but there's good reason to look at AZ Alkmaar's Teun Koopmans. Only 22, but already captain of AZ, who finished a curtailed Eredivisie season in second, he's a defensive midfielder by preference, but has filled in ably at centre-back. This points to his defensive credibility, but also offers versatility. He's positionally aware, a good one-on-one defender, and possesses a sumptuous left foot, as his assist for Usama Idrissa's goal against Ajax in March showed. An alternative who brings more in defence and less in passing is 26-year-old Dominic Kohr, the Eintracht Frankfurt midfielder. Last season he made 2 interceptions and won 2.4 tackles per 90, as well as 7.8 successful pressures. He's a busy defender in typical Bundesliga fashion, but that makes him good at thwarting counters. He's used to playing a double pivot ahead of a 3-man back line, which would require some adjustment. Our pick, though, is Ibrahim Sangare. The 22-year-old, 6'2" Toulouse midfielder is a close statistical match for Matic in most metrics. He's a good passer, with 5.1 final third and 6.2 progressive passes per 90, although his pass accuracy is lower than Matic's because he's been encouraged to go longer in a direct Toulouse team. Defensively, he wins 2.8 tackles and makes 1.5 interceptions per 90, as well as 7.7 successful pressures. This marks him out as one of Liga's outstanding defensive midfielders. Interceptions are really the only area where Matic significantly betters Sangare, but United are able to control games and press better than Toulouse, and there's every reason to suspect that Sangare will improve across all facets of his game. Right wing is a position that United are clearly shopping for, and although Greenwood has had an exceptional season, he's arguably a striker and adds less creatively than Solskjaer might want. One suggestion is the versatile Calvin Stenks, the 21-year-old AZ right winger. A left-footed player who can also function as a striker or a 10, Stenks got 5 goals and 7 assists in a shortened Eredivisie season. While Stenks is perfectly capable of beating his man and pulling back crosses, he also likes to tuck in field and play through balls across the pitch with his left. He'd be an interesting, multifaceted attacker who could rotate with others in United's front four. An alternative, less developed prospect, but one with huge potential, is Bodo Glimt's Jens Petter Hauge. The 20-year-old has scored 7 and managed 6 assists in only 11 games, and as a Norwegian youth international, he might relish the chance to work with Solskjaer. His touch and creativity are already excellent. Predominantly right-footed, he can play on the left or the right, and would fit United's expressed desire to bring younger, quicker players into the squad. The Athletics' pick for this position, though, is the unarguable one, Jadon Sancho. United remain at a transfer impasse with Borussia Dortmund, with sporting director Michael Zorc insisting that the winger will remain at the club for the current season. Still, he's the obvious choice, and if United are able to break the negotiating deadlock, he'd be an outstanding addition. Despite the huge proposed fee, Sancho is already an elite attacker. There is always a premium payable for English players, but United will be tying down someone who's probably going to be the world's best in his position for many years to come. So, assuming that United will ultimately want their captain Maguire to play in his favoured right centre-back spot, a more defensively minded left-sided colleague is needed, albeit one comfortable in possession. Jordan Turunahiga of Hertha Berlin is a strong prospect. His passing is good, with 86% completion overall and 82.9% on passes over 25 yards. And last season, he made 1.9 interceptions, 2.4 blocks and 5.7 clearances all per 90. He's tall, quick, strong and left-footed, and mostly plays on the left in a back four, though he can play at left back. He'd probably be expensive and has had injury issues, though none last season. Another suggestion is Freiburg's Kevin Schlotterbeck, who played last season on loan at Union Berlin. At 23 years old, he has development potential and was outstanding as Union exceeded expectations in their first ever Bundesliga season. He's defensively very solid, with 7 clearances, 1.8 tackles won, and 3.3 blocks per 90. Union play a direct game, so his passing completion is only 81%, but just under half of those were long balls, something that wouldn't be the case at United. Price and a potential lack of experience could hinder this, but Schlotterbeck was one of the Bundesliga's best left-sided defenders last season and is worth considering. Our pick, though, is another Bundesliga player, Mainz's Moussa Niakhaté. At 24, he's established himself at Mainz, a club that has an excellent scouting history, especially in France, and has captained the team. He's a good defensive anchor, not getting forwards too much, but he has excellent ability on the ball too. Last season, he made 6.5 clearances, almost 3 tackles or interceptions won, and 1.6 blocks all per 90. A combination of good awareness and body position makes him a good last line of defence, which would suit United, as it would be Maguire who'd be tasked with progressing the ball. If you want to read a sensible transfers piece about your team, then you're in luck. We've expanded the series onto The Athletic, where dedicated club journalists have written a sensible transfers style article for every club listed here. And you can get 40% off an annual subscription to The Athletic by visiting theathletic.com/Tifo Football transfers. And start reading today.